I have Olympic insomnia. Some nights sleep is just a different planet. Whenever you tell people that you've got insomnia, they'll always say the same thing. Oh, really? Because I'm always out as soon as my head hits the pillow. Right. Thanks. What I normally do then is demonstrate to them how they're also always out as soon as their head hits my fist. If someone comes up to you and tells you, like, that they're blind, right? You don't say, oh, really? Because I can see perfectly. Blimey, is that the Pyrenees? Someone comes up to you and tells you that they've just been paralysed from the waist down. You don't say, oh, really? Well, watch this.
Oh, God. There's another human being in distress. I've got to get down there and help. Oh, God. A fellow human being needs my help. I've got to go down there, and even if there's a gang of men with guns and knives, I don't care. I've just got to rush down there and see if I can save that poor man's life. Oh, God, what are they doing to him? Oh, that just sounds awful. Oh, God, I've got to get down there. Faster, faster. There's not a moment to lose. Oh, God. Cufflinks. Just got to live out the hose. Get down there. Shows a WCW wrestler like Hulk Hogan or The Undertaker or Bruce Lee. I've got to get down there and... Oh, it's a cat. Oh, God, there's not a moment to lose. Hurry. I'll just quickly throw on a pair of slip-ons. Oh, get down there and this will help me kick more and be better at fighting generally. It seems to be quieting down a bit.
The great thing about sleepless nights like this is they do grant my brain some terrific insights, you know. Like, I've just worked out who they should send to Bosnia to sort out the Serbs and the Croats. Tony, the bloke who stands by the dartboard in Bullseye. Because he's such a calming presence, isn't he? He'd go there and say, all right, lads, take it easy, take it easy, not to worry. And that'd sort it. And when I realise I'm thinking these things, I just lose all sense of self, you know. I don't know who I am. Which is bad enough normally because of my name. People just keep on mispronouncing it, you know, calling me Mr. Baddiel, Mr. Biddle, Mr. Tosspot. It's amazing how wrong it can get, you know. Minicabs arrive at my door going, taxi for Mr. Bloody Blub! And as the night wears on and I begin to doubt everything, that's when I remember, you know, she loves me. This is a really good relationship, you know. We have a great time sexually. A lot of other people think my car's shit, but she doesn't. And, you know, the Nissan Micra was Car of the Year, 1982. I've got Emma. I can't sleep, but, you know, I prefer to have Emma and not sleep than be someone who can sleep but who doesn't have anything like her. Like Rob.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, I had this really weird dream. Oh, God, what was it? Oh, yeah. I was trapped in a cave with this cockroach. A horrible, great, big, stinking, festering cockroach with little round glasses. Oh, yeah, and it had horrible bad breath. It was breathing all over me and I felt really sick. Ooh. I was hungry and it said, it's all right, have some of my cucumber. And it held it out to me and it was this tiny, wee little cucumber. And he said, this is my cocktail gherkin. And I said, that's not going to fill me up.
Right.
What a weird dream. What do you think it means?
Well, the cave suggests womanhood, and you're trapped in it, suggesting, you know, leanings towards lesbianism. And, you know, I have said that if you ever wanted to bring another woman into our bed, that's okay with me. So, basically, this cockroach is a projection of your self-loathing, your fears about whether or not you smell, whether you're ugly, and so on. So, essentially, this cockroach is you. So, I wonder, is there anything else you can tell me about this cockroach?
It was covered in white spots. I don't know what happened now. I wasn't hungry after all because the day before, a friend of the cockroach, an ape with long hair, had given me a huge marrow.
Not like a small gherkin.
No, a huge marrow. God, it's so strange, isn't it? Weird. Got no idea what it all means.
This cockroach, did he have any means of travelling about? Some sort of a trolley or stagecoach or chariot? And I wonder if you can remember what you felt about that.
No, he didn't have any of those, no. But I do remember his car was shit.
No, it's a great relationship. I think if there's a problem, it's with me, because I always find it really difficult in relationships to say, I love you. It's not that I don't feel it, it's just the words. They feel so weighted down with cliché and commitment. So what I normally do is just fudge the issue by looking deep into someone's eyes and saying, I love you. I really love you. Which means that so far my most successful relationship has been with one of the clangers. Why can't I sleep? People say to me, David, all you need is someone reassuring to talk to you as you go to sleep. So I've got Tony from Bullseye to come and stand by my bedside going,
just take your time, Dave. Nice and easy. That's the way. Just relax. We want you to sleep.
and then morning comes, I can get up, but it doesn't end there, because then I just spend the whole of the day worrying about which particular bad time of the day ahead I'm going to suddenly fall asleep. Right, I'm not going downstairs. It's dangerous. You'll have to get me a stunt double.
Yeah, it's all right. We got you on. We got your stunt double. Right. Albert, you're on now. Albert.
Great.
Yes, come on, when you're ready.
Well, this should help to pay for your dialysis machine.
Better watch out for those falling asleep suddenly shenanigans in future. So now I'm just exhausted all the next day. I can't understand the levels of sleep that some people can achieve, you know, like sleepwalkers. To be that asleep that you mustn't be woken, or so they say.
So, David, Emma tells me you've bought a Nissan Micra.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I think she's very fond of the car, really. Oh, hello, Rob. Shh! Mustn't wake him. Mustn't wake him. Oh!
Oh, what's in here? Is it the Financial Times? Thank you for coming. Cheerio.
Now, there is no need for 40% of all motoring accidents to happen. Myself approaching at a moderate 15 miles an hour along the highway or main carriageway concourse area. To my left, a Ford Fiesta gives way at a T-junction very sensibly.
You see, there was no need for that to happen.
Welcome to MTV's Unplugged, a show in which some of the world's top bands perform acoustic sets entirely unaccompanied by any electronic instruments. Tonight on MTV Unplugged, would you please welcome The Orb?
Lately, I've been pathetic in London. And it gets to be about midnight and someone says, there's a late bar that's open till 2, a club. And I'm thinking, no, I'm drunk, I'm tired. And I'm about to go home. But then the same mental image always makes me turn round and go back into the club and stay there till everyone's gone. And that mental image is me, on the occasion of my ruby wedding anniversary, toasting my wife with a glass of champagne as I lean against the mantelpiece of our happy hearth saying,
And to think I nearly didn't go to that club, darling. I was going to go home, but something made me go back into that club, and I would never have met you.
got home 3 a.m., couldn't sleep. Outside it was one of those nights so still and so quiet you can hear ghost trains in the high street. A deep, deep silence, as if you're in a room full of people and Michael Jackson has just offered to babysit. A profound, unearthly calm that was more than I could take, so I turned on the radio. Bad, bad mistake. There came the loneliest sound on God's earth.
Hello. You're listening to the Late Night Phone-In here on London Night Talk Radio. And tonight we're going to be discussing Europe. Our first caller is Reg in Balham. Hello, Reg.
Hello, Steve. People say cars are produced more cheaply on the continent. What they don't realise is they're produced using restrictive practices.
I see, Reg. From what you're saying, it sounds like it's been about 5 years since you last spoke to someone who knew who the hell you were.
That's right, Steve.
Getting back to what you were saying, I gather you're standing on torn lino in a dirty kitchen wearing semen-spattered trousers, and somewhere there's a kidney-shaped veneer dresser.
Eventually it was bumming me out so much what this DJ was saying that I just, hung up. I don't have to say that. But sometimes I say to myself, no, I won't feel like half a person just because I'm not going out with someone. The feminists are right. It's just a social construct meant to make you feel inadequate because you don't fit in. I am going out tonight. What though there be young couples, yea, and families out there?
Am I not myself a cosmopolis that hath many voices and diverse affections in it? Yes, box office cashier, here is my money. I would like to see this cinema's feature presentation.
How many is that for?
One! I've just pulled down this crack into the lino.
So I was getting a bit tense then. When I get tense, I have to do some painting to calm down. I'll just start here on this park bench. You may notice I've gone over the edge slightly there, but that's all right, because if then you start getting hit up about those things, it defeats the object, Just do that red. And I may decide to do the whole parasol red, Or not. As the case may be. Move to another colour, probably. Didn't have to. I could have carried on a red groove for some time there, But, just do a blue stripe there. That's not a great blue, but, you struggle to get a great blue and, you'll end up more tense than you started. And I'm all mellowed out now, which is good, because I think the time has come now for me to tell you all about my drug habit. You would have found out sooner or later, so I'd rather it came from me than, you read about it. As you know, some of you know, some losers are addicted to, whippets, the first 5 seconds of gas you get out of a can of UHT cream before the cream comes out. Others are addicted to, the butane gas you get out of gas lighters. For my own part, I'm addicted to the gas you get out of these, klaxon horns. It has its drawbacks, this particular habit. Number one being that it's very difficult for me to keep my habit in any way a secret. You know, like I'm at a party and I have to say, I'm just going to get some fresh air. I'm just going to pop out and chill out for a bit. I'll just be right back. I'll have a very small orange juice. I'm just going to. I think someone's car's blocking a driveway. I just got to get out of London, you know, because I just know all the wrong people. It's like, you know, a friend of mine the other day said to me, and like, you know, you think your friends know you, but he said to me, "Oh, Robert, do you want to come and see a cockfight?" You know, like chickens fighting. So, you know, I said, well, no, thanks for asking, but, you know, it's barbaric. I couldn't go, but then suddenly I heard this voice in my head saying, "And to think I nearly didn't go to that cockfight, darling."
Tonight, on MTV Unplugged, would you please welcome Utah Saints?
Utah Saints! Utah.
I've got up. Trying to go to sleep has made me feel ill. It's not surprising I'm ill. I eat so badly. Look at these. Supermarket sausages includes only shoulder, breast and belly of the pig. Belly. Belly going down as far as where exactly? Did we say belly? We meant pig's packet. Because they put pig's eyelashes, lips and testicles into sausages. Lips. Pigs don't even have lips, do they? So what, they put parts of the pig in that don't even exist? They put in the pig's passport photo. What's this in my sausage? 4 identical photos of Boris Becker? I've been feeling ill since I went to this cafe. Maybe it was God's revenge, because I'd gone there to meet this woman. Not my girlfriend, this 19-year-old.
Hello? Who? What does he look like? About 45. Yeah, going grey, balding, double chin. Is there a David Bloodybub in the house? Bloodybub? What else? About 5'2", bit haggard, small penis.
Hello? Yeah? Oh, you're not coming? Okay. You haven't met someone else, have you? No. Are you phoning from Portsmouth?
My name is Jarvis. How do you do? Later on, I'm going to go and cruise round Soho looking for some homeless jailbait to pick up. Well, hello. So, this is your first night down in the Big Smoke, is it? Absolutely penniless, you say? How very interesting. So you're about 19, and are you, young girl? Oh, you're a boy. Oh, God. Playing with the gender roles, eh? Only 16, you say? Oh, gosh. Isn't the economic situation terrible? And, where are you from, young, boy-girl thing? Stoke-on-Trent, you say? Well, you know what they say. Stoke-on-Trent. Bent. I see you like jokes. I like jokes, too. I wonder what other tastes we share. I cruise around Soho in my Bentley. Unfortunately, the top speed is 3 miles per hour. The passenger door remains permanently ajar, and it insists on veering towards the curb. Oh, God. What must people think? Now, that last bit wasn't very funny, but the fact that you wanted it to be funny and I disappointed you turned me on. Thank you. When not helping the homeless, I'm also involved in restoring old buildings. I'm particularly opposed to the closing down of many of our fine municipal Victorian public lavatories. Now, I don't want to come over all Prince Charles. Oh, God, that would be terrible. Imagine if he just got his blazer back from the dry cleaners and he had to make an important speech to the Commonwealth. Oh, that's the last thing I want to think about. Oh, God.
Now, there is no need for 40% of all domestic accidents to happen. Oh! No, there was no need for that to happen. Good evening and welcome to History Today. I can tell you that no one is more surprised than myself and Professor F.J. Lewis when the news came through that we were to be granted another series of discussion programs on the television. However, I can assure all those who may have been uncertain about the decision that tonight's discussion on the perennial topic of romanticism and industrialization will be a most rigorous investigation into this always provoking issue. Professor F.J. Lewis, I wonder if we may begin by talking about the ways in which this period saw the beginning of social disintegration.
Indeed. The collapse of the extended family meant that for literally thousands of women, the only way of supporting themselves was to turn to prostitution. There are several accounts of this, but perhaps the most harrowing is My Life as a Prostitute, a first-person account by a woman who, being very ugly and suffering from scrofula, could not charge very much for her services, and so was compelled, alas, to perform all sorts of degrading sexual acts with over 100,000 men.
Well, this sounds like a very important source text, this My Life as a Prostitute. I wonder, is there a modern edition of the publication?
Yes, it's Weidenfeld and Nicholson, second edition, price £27.99. That's My Life as a Prostitute by Your Mum.
I see. See a pond or a lake or a very, very large puddle?
Yes.
That's your bed, that is. You're on the front cover of Bedwetters Monthly.
Of course, what this period saw was essentially a pendulum-like movement, a swinging from romanticism to materialism, and then back again, and then violently back once more.
Yes.
And that's how you drive. All over the shop. You know men who put fruit up each other's bottom?
Yes.
Oh, you do? You know them. They're your friends. You've said it. You can't take it back now.
No, I didn't mean I know them.
Well, that's what you said. You shouldn't have said it.
See a pair of 3D glasses, which you get free with TV Quick, and they've got like an orangey bit and a green plastic bit on each eye, and they don't fit properly.
Has the green piece come off slightly and it's sort of hanging off?
Yes, and there's some writing on the side where someone has tested a biro on it.
Yes.
That's your Ray-Bans, that is. That's your cool shades. Oh, hi, girls. Tom Cruise here. But, Professor Lewis, if we could return to the subject in hand. I was reading an interesting piece the other day.
No, you weren't. Because you can't read. And you can't afford a book.
Well, actually, it was a piece by yourself. A rather fine piece in the Historical Inquirer. I was very impressed by it.
Oh. Were you? Thank you.
I was particularly moved by a section on page 35 about the advancement of Scottish radicalism. I'd like to read from it, if I may.
I'd be honoured.
Your best work, I fear. Well, I don't think anyone can be in any doubt that tonight romanticism and industrialisation have been covered in a most invigorating way. Professor Lewis, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi. You're back early. Oh, I just had another amazing dream.
Oh, really? Yeah, I start to think they don't mean anything, actually, dreams. In fact, I start to think one reason you might be having these nightmares...
They're not nightmares.
Well, you know, dreams, nightmares, distorted images. It might be to do with something I'd never said, you know. And as soon as I realised this, I just couldn't get home fast enough. You know, every light was on red, every bus seemed to be in the way. Then this micro wasn't as nippy as it usually is. I just couldn't get home fast enough, Emma, because I don't think I've ever really told you that I should...
Sorry?
That I...
Pardon?
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
You see, I told you it was worth getting a car alarm for the Nissan Micra.
On that rare night that you do get to stay over at someone else's, the next day you have to walk home still wearing the clothes you dressed up in to go out the night before. And you have to walk through the streets full of hard-working people, and it is so embarrassing. And to think I nearly didn't go to that satanic mass, darling. I have this idea for a symphony. It's a requiem for the eternal conflict of the soul on the tragic battlefield of time. It's just an idea at the moment because I can't actually play a musical instrument. I was going to learn. I had this guitar bought for my 10th birthday. Beautiful it was, handmade. It was the only thing of beauty I ever owned, and I customised it. I stenciled the word noise on it. And then about 2 days later it was stolen. And I was so destroyed by that I've never been able to touch a musical instrument since. And I've always felt that it was at that moment when the guitar was stolen that my life lost touch with destiny and I lost all sense of purpose and meaning. But tonight, David will be my hands and the symphony will course through him. This idea I've got, well, it's the vision I have is these two opening chords that start off with. It's a nod towards Beethoven as I shoulder into similar territory. Sort of da, 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 da. Yes, sort of two bold clarion calls.
Right. Okay, what about this?
Yes, that's it. The same, only this time more Sturm und Drang, more sort of. Yes, that's it.
Only I don't want to be too negative and depressive, okay? I had this image of hope. I see this woman, she's tripping along the cliff tops in a light cotton skirt, and there's thunderclouds
Is her
gathering
light
overhead.
cotton skirt lifting as she runs?
No, you failed to grasp the meaning. We are composing symphonies. You saved that for Shabba Ranks. She's an image of hope, and her skirt is down.
Well, what's that melodically? Melodically,
what's that? I see her tripping along these cliffs, and she's humming a little refrain to herself, sort of la da da, la da da, la da da. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, yes. Well, that's Debussy. That's.
I don't want to come across the musical professional in this situation, but I think what one would have here in an orthodox classical piece is what we call a da capo decoder, which is a lilting bridge, a movement down from the opening variation into the closing section.
What have you got?
Well, I thought perhaps this.
No, I think that's a bit too pubby.
Okay, what's in your head?
My head, I don't know, something tentative, something hesitant, not sure whether it's reached that sort of final summation, sort of da-da, da-da-da, da-da, da-da. Oh, God, yes. Oh, that's Chopin. That's beautiful.
And finally,
okay, I want to echo those opening two chords. That sort of only this time it's tempered by the wisdom of experience, and so it's a little bit more reflective, sort of dun, dun.
It sings of experience. Okay, is this what you want?
Yes. My symphony is complete. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the first public performance of a requiem for the eternal conflict of the soul on the tragic battlefield of time by Robert Newman. I thank you. Useless! You've ruined it! That was meant to be about everything, that symphony. That was meant to be about all the tragedies I've ever suffered. You know, the lost guitar, Lucy, my white poodle that was killed by a hit-and-run driver, the bicycle that I had bought. Shut up! It was Olympic standard, and some lads stole it. I never saw it again, but they told me that they took it down the wreck and set fire to it. That time I found a man's sweaty Evel Knievel T-shirt underneath Rachel's bed. Everything. And you ruined it. My symphony. You're always stopping me achieving anything. It's like you're Satan's envoy sent to destroy my life. And I'm still Robert Smith's favourite. I don't need him anyway, that loser. I've got other ideas. Luckily, I didn't share with him. I got this lilting one, sort of da 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 da, sort of like that. I'm just gonna try that out. Yeah, let it flow.
Here, at the North Atlantic Marine Organization, we've been researching into the migratory patterns of the North American eel. What we've discovered is that if you attach a transmitter to the eel and release it into the water, basically, it sinks like a stone. And if we carry on like this, soon there'll be no more North American eels.
Now, there is no need for 40% of all accidents in the office.
Now, there was no need for that to happen.
This should help pay for your dialysis machine.
Like the other day, a friend of mine came round and you know, I let her in and you know, we had a few glasses of wine and, you know, it was all going very well. There's a nice vibe between us and then, you know, we moved on to the coffee stage and we're still getting on very well. And then she said, well, I better be getting off now. You know, have you got the number of a cab company? And I said, yeah, here's one here. Yeah, these are very good. If you want, though, and I'm not saying this sex or anything, but you're welcome to, you know, share my bed. I mean, I don't mean sleep together. I just mean, you know, sleep together, not doing anything. Just yes. I mean, by all means, if you want to take a cab home, of course, I'm welcome to do that. I'm just saying, is there, should you so desire? And she said to me, well, thank you, Robert, that's nice to know, but it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Is it? Well, we're out of that pickle, that's good. And yet, ironically, we did end up doing the deed of darkness. And now, I hate talking about sex, you know, some comics can do it, and I hate all those programmes that talk about sex, you know, like the Good Sex Guide. To me, they're so mechanical. They take all the beauty and mystery and essential poetry out of shagging the arse off someone. I wasn't concentrating, you know, like this is how not with it I was, right? I could hear the telly on in the flat next door, and I caught myself trying to work out what programme it was that I listened to. This is like how not there I was. I could hear a rag and bowman in the street outside, and because it was going, oh, Bob! Oh, Bob! And I went on this like long train of thought about how what he was originally saying was, have you got any old rag and bone, please? But because it was a phrase that he'd had to repeat 1,000 times, it had now become, oh, Bob! Anyway, with all this going on, and to cut a short story shorter, I prematurely ejaculated. And now, I hate talking after sex for, you know, weeks, but like on this... And that whole, you know, blame, responsibility, better loving ethic, I hate all that. And yet on this one occasion I thought, you know, I should apologise to her for the fact that I came too soon. I should just say to her, I'm sorry I came too soon. So I turned on my side, looked deep into her lovely brown eyes and said, sorry I came! Sorry I came!
I'm ill, I ache. I feel like I've gone 10 rounds with Hulk Hogan or The Undertaker. But, you know, being ill, it's nothing new. As soon as you're born, you get ill. I had them all as a baby. Mumps, chickenpox, measles, syphilis. The thing is that I was born in America, and my parents were always really unhappy about the idea of paying for medical treatment, you know. I couldn't actually go and see a doctor as such, but every so often they did let me have a go on one of those fairground pulse rate machines, which meant that when I had pneumonia as a child, I was actually diagnosed as being hyper-horny and prescribed a series of cold showers.
Oh, my poor darling.
Still, not long now before illness is my whole life. Like my grandmother, she's a short German woman called Gertie. She's got this hearing aid, and last time I went to see her, the hearing aid started to feed back. And she just stands there smiling while it goes... Anyway, next thing I knew, there was a big roadie standing next to her, big fat bloke in a Nirvana T-shirt with his arse crack showing, going, 1, 2, 1, 2. Next time I saw her, she was on tour with the Jesus and Mary chain.
All that stuff. Some candy talking, some candy talking. Gertie!
It made something clearer to me than ever. There is no dignity in old age, right? All those consolations, wisdom, peace, rest, it's all just propaganda. This is what happens. Firstly, you go bald. But your hair doesn't drop off your head, it drops through your head and comes out your nose and ears. Our one hope is Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease, they should stop trying to cure it. Because if you're 90, the last thing you want is sanity. I mean, there you are, dribbling away, saying, I invented the banana, right? Happy as Larry, right? Someone cures you, and it's like, oh, I can't walk, and all my friends are dead. Cheers. And God has played so many tricks on us about growing old, you know, like the way that a Zimmer frame looks a bit like a pair of parallel bars, right? So I know how I'm going to die, 90 years old, stumbling around, and a little voice in my head's going to be saying, go on, do a backflip. At this point, our only hope is death itself. The angel of death is an angel, after all.
I'm so terribly sorry. Your father was a good man. Be strong. At least he leaves us now with great dignity and quiet repose. Ah, I think that must be the Undertaker.
Watch out, Hogan! Look out, Bulldog! You're going down in the second round! It's the Undertaker! Prepare to meet thy maker! Easy! 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 Easy!
I'm so possessed by death that I spend a lot of time fantasising about my own funeral. Sometimes I really indulge myself with it.
We lay here to rest the body of David Bo Diddley.
We're only playing hard to get. And now it's too late. Oh.
And to think he could have been amongst the best. Pele, Best, Maradona, Crooks.
I've never been this miserable. I always preferred him to the other one.
Who are we going to give the Nobel Prize for Literature to now?
What?
But my fantasy really is that I'll live to be 78 and then be biographised like no one before.
Well, I first met David when he was a young man. Back in 1994. We had one very long summer together. 50 years ago. Oh, I treasure that time in my memory.
And there's not even any real dignity or tragedy after death. We move from glory into glory. No. Not if the behaviour of poltergeist is anything to go by.
I'm a poltergeist. I have all the power of the spirit world. Magic from beyond the grave. So what I'm going to do is knock this mug off the TV. I'm so evil. And it was their favourite Garfield mug as well. Oh dear, I've made a bit more mess than I intended.
I'm just going to have to be a man, you know. I'm just going to have to say, I'm sorry about my disgusting behaviour. I'm not normally like that. It'll never happen again. And I don't know what came over me. Sorry, behave! Normal like I
Yeah, all right, it's fine.
don't know what came over me!
Yeah, no, it's fine, honestly.
Oh, cheers. So I just want to say I'm sorry about, what I said about you ruining my life. I don't go around with those thoughts in my head, and I'd particularly like to officially retract what I said about you, destroying my dreams.
No, that's fine. I'm glad you've come round, actually, because I was just sitting here thinking about all the good times that we have had together, Like when we went to Spain.
Oh,
it was
God,
such a laugh.
Yeah, God, you forget about all those things. Jesus, yeah.
I've got the photos here somewhere.
Have you? I've never seen them.
Oh, you must have?
No, never.
They're here somewhere, I'm sure. They're in here, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if you remember, right, but do you remember being in that bar, right, in Madrid, and they had, bullfighting match of the day on? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
and, everyone started shouting Olé, but we started the shouting of Olé, right? That was the incredible thing. We started shouting Olé, right? Before anyone else had even thought about it, right? It's an amazing thing. No one else had thought about it, right? No one... Right, and then from there on, we went to Fuengirola to see your mum. We said, Olé, to anyone. I couldn't believe anyone thought, that was like... insane. Dude, it was so funny. Oh, it's brilliant it was. I'm sorry about all this junk and stuff. I'm just waiting for Gentleman Jim to come round on his horse and cart and take it all away. Anyway, here they are.
I don't remember you being an Evel Knievel fan.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jarvis. I have been informed that tonight's program is being watched by over 7 million people, as far afield as the Netherlands and Ireland, and all over Britain, in small bedrooms on black and white portable televisions, on the communal colour televisions in Chinese takeaways, in the front rooms of Carlisle, Glasgow, Manchester and Birmingham. And the irony is, I'm not wearing any pants. How very irresponsible. Isn't Jarvis naughty? Rather. I often like to put young people up. Ha 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 ha. Recently, I had 2 charming young women staying on my estate. Unfortunately, 1 month they both owed me £119 in rent, but had no money. Isn't the economic situation terrible? Luckily, I had a brainwave. 36 strenuous hours later, they were both in a state of near physical exhaustion. However, the rent now stood at £118. And I might add, my garden looked wonderful. What sort of a man do you take me for? As time passes, I find memory and fantasy become entwined and lose themselves in each other. Some things, however, remain eternally clear. As I once said to Mark Almond, that's quite a thirst, young fella. Good night. Memory.
I am the poltergeist. So yes, ha ha ha, I know what I'll do. I'll move everything around in this room. Yes, this will leave him totally disorientated. His mind will be swimming with the anarchic force of my haywire psychic energy. Oh, I've cleared up.
evening and welcome to History Today. I would like to take this moment to thank viewers who have stayed with us over the course of these discussions. We are under increasing pressure from the controllers who feel that we have been in some way disappointing those viewers with a yen for historical inquiry. I can only apologise and pledge that tonight both myself and Professor F.J. Lewis, Emeritus Professor of History at All Souls College, Oxford, are determined, as never before, to undertake a full and rigorous exposition of tonight's most exciting subject, the Doomsday Book. The beginning of radicalism or the end of liberty. Professor Lewis.
See that Michael Bolton?
Oh dear. I am aware of his work.
That's your haircut, that.
You see those white plastic bracelets that mental patients wear? That say, on continuous medication, return wearer to hospital.
I have observed them.
That's your swatch, that is. That's your shock-proof Tag Heuer.
It is indeed a moot point, end of radicalism, beginning of liberty.
Yes.
But this is a twilight period of transition. Can be seen in the magical significance 14th century mythology attaches to things which are themselves symbols of transition.
Yes.
The edge of a forest. Or twilight itself, that dusk before the day has really ended, but nor can one say that it is yet early evening.
Of course.
And that's your bedtime, that. That's your bedtime on Friday nights. You're on the front cover of 5:15 Monthly. Congratulations.
The importance of the Doomsday Book as a milestone in history can be seen from the fact that it is one of only a handful of books to be kept in cryogenic suspension at the British Museum. The book is held in a sealed chamber at a set temperature of minus 273 degrees Celsius, a temperature which in modern physics is known as absolute zero.
Indeed.
And that's the number of pubic hairs. You thought you had one the other day, but then you weed through it.
You know those things that happen in the street after 9 o'clock?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Oh, so I presume you're familiar with the Viking longboat driven by Mary Peters down our street at 9:30?
Yes, of course.
Like all ships of Nordic pagan design,
yes,
had a curved aft and a curved stern, thus.
Yes, I'm aware of the design.
And that's how you walk down the street.
Well, I don't think that anyone can be in any doubt that...
Oh, hi, girls. Oh, no, 5:15.
That tonight, Professor Lewis and myself have had a most penetrating and illuminating debate. Professor F.J. Lewis, thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, children, that's enough excitement for me. Your grandpa is a very, very old man. Soon, I think, I may be on my way.
Don't say that, Grandpa.
Hush, child. Ripeness is all. But there are some things now that I might like to pass on. I haven't opened this closet here since 1994. I came back one day and, I don't know why, on an instinct,
I locked it. I thought that perhaps one day in the far, far future, I might open it. And whatever was inside would serve as a record of my life. Now, this belonged to my girlfriend, Emma, your grandmother.
Why do we never see her, Grandpa?
Well, just after your mother was born, she left me. Disappeared without a word. I never heard from her again. Oh, I don't remember it. Oh, no, wait a minute. This belonged to my old mucker. My old comedy chum, Robert Newman.
Robert Newman?
Yes. Oh, I haven't seen him since around about the same time, I think. Yes, 1994. I wonder where he is now. He'd laugh to see that, I can tell you. But you see, children, death has no sting. As long as you can look back upon your time and say, I have truly understood the pattern of events I call my life. What is this?
This one's hair is very similar to mine, isn't it, Grandpa?
Yes.
Doctors say he may only have about 2 weeks to live. And he's building this model for a school competition. And he feels that if he could win it, his life would have had some meaning, a purpose.
The world is full of terrors for the mind that plays tricks upon itself. I was on a moving walkway at the airport. Then this voice started saying,
Caution, you are now approaching the end of the moving walkway. Caution, you are now approaching the
until eventually I began to think, what the f*** is waiting for me at the end of the moving walkway?
Caution, Candyman is waiting at the end of the moving walkway. Welcome to Terminal 5.
So it was a flight which I happened to be taking just after there had been 2 major plane crashes. So for days beforehand, I was going around saying things like, of course, things like plane crashes always happen in threes, because predicting the worst, that's a way of making your flight safe, isn't it? But of course, the problem with doing that is, it's immediately followed in my mind by an image of one of my friends saying, and the amazing thing was, he was just saying about how plane crashes always happen. Another sandwich, Rabbi? I sometimes think this world was put here to mess with my head, you know. I couldn't get my car insured the other day because they said I was a comedian. What? They think I'm going to drive my car in a funny way? Well, I suppose that is dangerous, yeah. Although one tip, if you do want to drive your car in a funny way, this is especially good on the motorway. Get a friend to sit in the passenger seat really low down and hold on to the steering wheel, right? While you lean out of your window and go like this. I can never seem to focus on the main issue, you know. I'm always distracted by some fringe concern. Like when I watch a boxing match. I don't get involved with who's going to win. I just start wondering what exactly it is they're saying to rile each other up.
You're not a very good boxer. You smell. Your gum shield's been up my arse.
The thing is, once the mind hits one of those self-conscious snags, nothing seems natural anymore. Even breathing. You know, as soon as you start thinking about it, you sort of forget how to do it. In, oh God, what's after in? And when I went to America, jet lag played havoc with my insomnia anyway. But then it was compounded by the fact that in America they have this food called a knish. And just to show you how all something needs to be to become the main all-night feature in my brain is complete, utter gibberish, I made up this advert when I couldn't sleep. Fancy a knibble, knosh a knish. But then, the needle in my brain sort of stuck on it. I kept repeating to myself, fancy a nibble, knosh a knish, fancy a nibble, knosh a knish, fancy a nibble, knosh a knish. Faster and faster, the fancy a nibble, knosh a knish train in my brain was out of control. I tried thinking of other things which normally preoccupy me. Out of Joanne Wally and Isabella Gianni, who do I most fancy? A knibble, knosh a knish, fancy a nibble, knosh a knish. It was no good. Eventually I started to think, this is it. This is all I'm ever going to think now. I'll have to live the rest of my life fitting my entire range of expression around these 6 words.
Your mother was a wonderful woman. She'll be sadly missed.
Fancy a knibble, knosh a knish. Of course, that's another mind game, being Jewish. It just lays a load of guilt on you, as does being Catholic, being whatever. Some people carry a great burden of guilt their whole lives. The other day I came home and Rob was round at my flat. I think Emma must have let him in on her way out or something. And I noticed for the first time just how guilty he looks all the time. Listen, what I think is you shouldn't feel guilty all the time, you know. I mean, remember, you haven't actually done anything bad, you know. You're not a sinner, you know. You're not wrecking anyone's life. I mean, there are much worse people in the world. You know, I mean, obviously we all to a general, overwhelming sense of existential guilt all the time. But if you personally can look back on your individual record and say, well, basically, the scales are then I think you should be able to walk free of conscience. Just say, you know, I am a free psychological citizen. I'm able to hold my head up and look people in the eye and say, you know, I've never done anything that wrong. You know, I'm blameless, essentially. And you're a positive type. Hurt me. Anyway, I mean, the thing to remember is, you know, you shouldn't have to feel responsible for everything bad that ever happens in the world. Good evening. I'm Peter.
And I'm Tony.
The headlines. A body was found today on Exmoor. A full-scale search of the area has discovered a stolen car dumped in a nearby region. Tony.
Oh, has it? Really? Oh, body. Oh, dear. Well, I didn't know about that. First I've heard. And they found a Volkswagen Beetle there, did they? Was it a Beetle? I wouldn't know. It could have been any car. Oh, look, it was a Beetle. I would, well, of all the cars I could have named, blimey. And where's Exmoor? I wouldn't know. Where is that? Anyway, I couldn't have been there and back because it's a 3.25 hour round trip. Is it? Peter.
Foreign news. The relief operation in Somalia has been obstructed by bandits raiding the Red Cross convoys. A spokesman said that there are fears that thousands more may die as a result. Tony.
Has there? Is there? Bandits, eh? Well, I didn't know about that. I mean, why should I? There's no special reason for me to know that. I mean, I may have more flour than most people have in their homes, but I buy in bulk. And I keep it in the garage now. There's a lot more room in there because I don't have a car anymore. Not that I've lost it in Exmoor. Peter.
And finally, good news. London Zoo has at last been successful in its attempt to mate Chi-Chi the panda. She's pregnant and due to give birth next February. Tony.
Is she? First I've heard about that. February, you say, so she must have conceived round about September the 12th. Damn the rhythm method. Anyway, it couldn't have been me. It couldn't have been me because I was in Somalia in September. No, I wasn't. I was in Exmoor. No, I wasn't. I haven't been there either.
Well, the doctors have said that if he wins this school competition, it might mean he could live for anything up to another 6 months. It's become everything to him building this model.
Now, there is no need for 40% of all agricultural accidents to happen. Now, there was no need for that to happen.
We've been searching now for almost 2 weeks for the almost extinct Venezuelan silver monkey. There's been no sign of it. But last night, this very neat line of billy cans that I put out has been disturbed. And next to it here are some silver monkey droppings.
Don't mess with my billy cans! That was a neat line!
Don't tell him, but I have had a word with the other teachers on the judging panel. We've seen the other entries, and he's won the competition.
Well, he's carrying his hope creation to school tomorrow. Maybe his last day alive. But he'll be so proud if he wins. It'll mean everything to him.
Good evening. I'm Peter da-da-da-da-da-da.
And I'm Tony Yahoo.
The headlines. Police today issued a photo fit picture of a man they wish to question in connection with molesting statues in Liverpool city centre.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad they have. Oh, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Imagine that. Molesting a statue of Queen Victoria. You didn't say Queen Victoria, did you? Who said it? Did I say it? Did you say it?
A man is being held in connection with the recent spate of attacks on horses. A police spokesman announced that they believe they have caught the so-called horse ripper.
No, they haven't. Have they? Brilliant, because I wouldn't like to think of any more horses getting attacked in the moonlight for having long snouts like Nana. Horsey Nana, I used to call her. Oh, yeah. Horses can poo wherever they want and no one beats them. Stop it, Horsey Nana, stop it! Peter.
A single gunman raided a post office in Stoke today and made off with £200 in cash. An in-store camera caught the raiders in action.
Well. £2,000 in cash and loads of tax discs. Did they steal any tax discs? Oh, what a lucky guess. Let's see if I can do it again. £2,000 in cash, some tax discs and a catamaran. Well, it just goes to say I was just lucky with that tax disc guess. Plane tickets. I really must be going. Oh, dear, I've got to get off.
This week's Horizon looks at the lives of a group of people who have to spend every day ridiculed and laughed at by the rest of society simply because of the way they look.
No, it's not a mask. Yes, I admit the skin on my nose is of a texture that does make it look plastic. And so to some people this might suggest that I'm wearing some sort of joke shop nose. And that's very hurtful. And yes, I know that my facial hair does have a carpet-like quality. But I don't see why this makes it odd or funny. The first person to suffer from this condition, you may know, was Groucho Marx. But unlike him, I don't look stupid. This does mean, though, that I have to conduct myself with twice the dignity of others, and I'm a serious person. I mean, I don't see why I should have to prove this, but, for example, I've written a thesis on D.H. Lawrence. I'll get it for you if you want.
Another associated problem that tends to affect people with this disorder is a directional dysfunction. And tragically,
As if to compound the problem, Julius is only able to correct his walk by taking out a large cigar. Julius's affliction creates enormous problems in his work.
Hello. We've come to drive you and your immediate family to the crematorium.
Research that Horizon has undertaken has revealed the existence of others who are, in Julius's terms, people of restricted seriousness.
I mean, there are tribes in Africa, for example, where having large ears is considered a mark of great beauty. Admittedly, these are tribes of elephants. My work can suffer as well. You see, I work in a centre for the deaf, and they just think I'm taking the piss. And as my hand signing happens to be quite slow, it takes me quite a while to explain it to them. No, these are my real ears.
Because of his extraordinary appearance, one of Julius's only friendships is with a man who has never actually seen him. For 15 years, Julius has corresponded with a man in Bolton, and today he meets his pen pal Howard for the first time. As they have never met, Howard has chosen to identify himself by carrying a distinctive tartan thermos flask. Julius has found comfort by establishing a support group for people with similar problems.
They've thrown a brick through my window. They've attacked my mother. They thought she was me.
No, I can hear you from here.
You can also hear him from the west way. How long have you got that nose? Yeah.
It's taken me quite a while.
Huh?
30 years.
Have you ever made donuts? Yeah, I'm actually a steel worker by trade, but I find it very difficult getting work. I mean, whenever I go to the job centre, I ask for work as a lathe operator or a sheet metal worker, but the only job they ever offer me is that of nutty professor. I had a tailor whose attitude was the same. You know, I had to give a speech at one of the firm's dinners, you know, as shop steward. And it was around about the time that we were very keen to get Japanese investment, so I dressed formally because I wanted to look just so. And I do want to express to our Japanese visitors that we are very serious about this new contract. 100% committed. Rest assured there will be no tomfoolery. Rather, we in the workforce will apply ourselves with integrity, expertise. Revolving. I'm sure you all know what it's like, but sometimes it really does get to you, doesn't it? I mean, like the other day I was running to visit my sick mother on her deathbed, but the police kept forcing me towards Westminster Bridge because they thought I was part of a London marathon.
If it would be any help at all at this difficult time, I'd be very happy to offer my services as an undertaker for nothing.
No thanks. If it's all the same, I think I'll ask someone who doesn't look like a twat.
Well, hello. I'm not here this week, but the fact that you expected me to be here and I disappointed you turns me off.
Your whole New York liberal intellectual guilty. I mean, it's so easy. You do something bad, and then you feel a little bit guilty. It's just like saying a few Hail Marys.
Jesus, what are you saying? You're just trying to make me feel guilty again. You're always trying to bring it. You try to bring a whole load of guilt onto me. You know, it's your trick. Wow. Oh God. Jesus, I can't believe you said that. What are you saying? Is this whole guilt and self-loathing is just a piece of plastic, the credit card that makes the liberals wrongdoing quick and easy?
That is so pathetic.
Jesus,
You've always got something clever to
I'm
say.
shocked and appalled. Jeez, it's We're the Champions video. It's, oh God, it's disgusting.
Good evening and welcome to History Today. Tonight's topic, a most exciting topic if I may say, is the Enclosures Act and its effect on English rural population. Professor Lewis, I wonder if you would agree that the most perceptive analysis of 14th century culture may be garnered from the literature of the time, Langland, Bunyan and specifically Chaucer.
Gat gente and sorwe hem the lande went into the quente broche awa the pande. O kinge, would thou note dignule indate, ne scribanish or craftile the witterite.
Indeed. And how exactly would you interpret this piece?
That's how your mum talks. She's got a bit missing from her mouth. It's a tragedy.
I see. See one of those boxes with a drawing of a cow on it, and when you turn it upside down, it goes moo.
Moo?
Yes, moo.
I have observed the novelty item.
That's your stereo, that. That's your state-of-the-art Hitachi. See that Matt Munro?
No, I've never heard of him, and no one knows or cares who he is.
Yes, that's you, that.
You know when you're walking through a field and you tread in a cow patch, and then immediately with the other foot you tread in another cow patch.
So I am effectively at this stage standing in two piles of cack.
Up to the ankles.
I have heard talk of the experience.
That's your new trainers, that is. That's your 100-pound Reeboks.
Professor Lewis, do you see that woman at the back of the television theatre?
Do you mean right at the very, very back wall of the entire studio?
Yes. From here, she is a barely distinguishable speck.
I can just make her out.
That's the nearest you've ever come to getting off with a girl. Well, I don't think anyone can be in any doubt that tonight myself and Professor F.J. Lewis have had a most valid, rich and incisive debate. Professor F.J. Lewis, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Bloody Bub. Could I have a word?
Certainly, Albert, certainly.
Well, it appears that I'm doing a lot of the stunts, and I did think that I'd been hired as an actor. Of course, I'm very grateful for the work, because I spend every penny, well, apart from the 37 pence I spend every day on a tin of Cross and Blackwell's meatballs, my little luxury, on my dear daughter.
Sally. Is she Sally? What a lucky guess. I mean, she could have been anyone, Sally. Sally with the king-size bed. Has she got a king-size bed? I don't know.
I wondered if it was possible for me to play a character. Well, say of an old man, for example. I am trained.
Well, there's the part of an old man in a sketch that Rob's going to do in a bit.
Oh, thank you. Is he West Country? All right, my lover. Is he North Country? By gum. Or is he Cockney? Jiminy. I was in rep for many seasons.
Yeah, well, you'll have to ask Robert, but I think it's the part of his old landlady's husband lives upstairs. Yeah, he's Scottish, actually.
Scottish? Oh, why?
Well, that'll be fine.
Well, this will not only help pay for your dialysis machine, but make you very proud of your dear old dad and his acting ability.
Walk the
streets for hours thinking, why am I punishing myself? Why can't I just let guilt go? And sometimes you can know all the arguments against the thing, but they're just in your head. You can't make them real. But suddenly, as I walked along, by some grace of God, all the old maxims worked for me. You know, you're a long time dead, let it go, all that. Suddenly, they all seemed profound. It was like hearing them for the first time. A huge weight of guilt fell from me. For the first time, I felt free of guilt. I'm alive. I'm free. I am here today. Life. I run towards you. I've always said if ever life got bad beyond a certain point, I wouldn't let myself keep suffering. You know, I'd just kill myself. You know, if ever I was duodecahedrically paralysed from the eyebrows down, that'd be it. You know, I'd just check out straight away, kill myself immediately. I don't know how. Probably I'd have to use the wooden stick on my forehead that I typed with to try and stab myself after I've typed up my suicide note. And so I have decided to take my own life. It's impossible. Or failing that, I'd have to try and set myself on fire by rubbing the wooden stick on my forehead against the wooden side of the breakfast tray, hoping that eventually the two sticks will heat up, smoulder, and the flames will start to travel along the wooden stick towards my forehead. It's impossible. I mean, you know, God love you if you've made that pact with life, but you're stronger than me. Or if, you know, if ever I was responsible for the death of a child, imagine that, you know, and it wasn't like complete an accident. You know, maybe I'd carried on kicking even after the kid went down. I'd kill myself instantly. Or mouth cancer, skin cancer, check out straight away. Or if ever I waited a really long time for the kettle to boil and hadn't plugged it in. And that's too fine a line to carry on with for too long a time. What's the point? No, this is mad. This is mad. This is mad. I could phone Simon. I really wanted us to be friends, but even though he gave me his phone number and invited me round, I felt that he did it in a piss off and don't phone me kind of a way. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Nothing's to do. The only thing left is just to deal with the formalities. I don't know what to do about my suicide note. I won't waste my time with poetry because it'll be terrible at a time like this, and I'll just be buried next to Sinead O'Connor. Always, you know, trying to explain because people never understand. I think your best bet with a suicide note is just to get back at someone who's just kind of pissed you off a little bit, but it's nothing to do with why you actually killed yourself. I have decided to take my life as I am no longer able to bear the loud stereo of my next-door neighbour. Yes! A brief will. I wish I could give it all to that kid and his family. I'll slip what's left to Olive and Stanley upstairs. They're such good people, you know. They haven't got much money. But, you know, they bought this house in 1920 for about £80. They've lived there all their lives, and they made it beautiful in a way that only, you know, 60 years of love and attention can. Don't come into the front room, Olive. Just call the ambulance. This would all be so much easier if I lived in Sweden. Sweden has got the highest suicide rate in the world. Volvo accessories include an exhaust pipe to front window attachment. Big jump, less pay. No, it must have been subsidence, not someone hanging themselves. Did you say hanging themselves? She said hanging themselves because you'd need rope for that, wouldn't you? suicidal. I'm not suicidal. What's the suicidal one? Lately my flat has started smelling. So I bought this room deodorizer. On the back of the can there's an imagist poem painting a bleak picture of human existence. WC areas, damp rooms, sick rooms, geriatric wards, stale alcohol after parties, pet areas, incontinence, caravans and cars. And I looked at that and thought, oh no, that's my life. Oh Lord, please don't let me become this sweaty, red-faced man in a Tyrolean shirt who each morning staggers coughing and gagging out of his miasmal WC area, off to see his sick gran tripping over party sevens no one helped him clear away as the neglected cat rolls a month-old turd across the mushy carpet. I've got to get out of this flat, you know, because I just know that as soon as I get out of this flat, my life is going to be better. So much so that when the estate agent is showing me around the new flat, already I'm like hallucinating the new life.
Well, Mr. Newman, I'd like to show you around. Now, this room here, this is where your French academic girlfriend will be on the exercise bicycle, nude probably, while you hang upside down from this beam doing hundreds of lateral raises.
But in reality, a reality estate agent should tell it like it's going to be.
Well, Mr. Newman, just like to show you around. Now, this room here, this is where your girlfriend will lock herself in and say, I'm not coming out until you've calmed down. I
am bloody cold! Yeah, that's fine. That's going to work. That's great, yeah.
Well, there's two phone points. There's a phone point here and a phone point here. But it's on the phone point here that you'll get the phone calls at 3 a.m. in the morning that say, time to die. And if we could just go through, just outside the front door here, see this little recess, cubby hole, alcove effect? Well, when you come home late at night, you'll always be convinced there's an assailant there waiting to attack you. So if you just want to wander around and get a feel of the place.
Let's see, phone point here, phone point here. Who are you? Why do you keep phoning me? I'm bloody cold! You know, I think I'm going to be happy here. So I was getting a bit tense there. When I get tense, I have to do some painting to calm down. I'll just start off on this pastoral scene. Just do the trees there. You may think, Rob, you're not doing the leaves one at a time, but, you know, it's sort of an impressionistic effect I'm getting, you know. You know, and it's not just the leaves I could do in this cavalier manner. You know. Watch this. Now that was nothing short of anarchy. I think I'll change colour, you know, use the blue. You know. Now that wasn't a wild change of colour, but, you know, we've been wild already. You know. I shall do the farmer in the background. I had a moment of regret when I chose the farmer in the background because I thought, oh, he's quite a small figure and everything, but... I'm not striving for perfection here. Otherwise, I'd still be tense at this moment, and look at me, I'm not tense.
I don't want to brag or anything, But the other day, I did a streak of piss about 2 metres long.
Wonderful.
I mean, the amazing thing was, I was asleep at the time. I don't know if I told you, but I did actually recently acquire a hat, and it's starting to spot with rain now, so I'll just... I don't know if you can see, but it's actually a pair of pants. And what I like about it is it makes me look a bit of a loony, as well as just an itinerant of the road.
Of course, I know him.
Really?
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, I expect you all know that for some time there's supposed to be a bit of a vibe between us. No, it was just one of those things. It never really got beyond the threats of physical violence for sex or cider stage.
Does it ever? Now, there is no need for 40% of all sports-related accidents to happen.
Well, there are no easy games in the world today, apart from the African countries, which are improving steadily. You've got the Arabs in the Middle East, you've got the Far Eastern countries.
Now, there was every need.
And so to summarise, possible showers in the northeast of England, but generally a dry day elsewhere. And tomorrow...
I hate men that fart and are pleased about it. And then they start doing this. My brother does that, you know, sometimes with both hands. Sometimes with one of those mini portable fans you can buy. I hate any kind of self-conscious revelling in your own bodily pleasure, you know. Like people who take a gulp of tea and then go, oh. Oh. It's a cup of tea, not a sodding blowjob. But the people I hate most of all are those people who, after giving you something or showing you something, go, da-da! With an exclamation mark after it. And let me tell you now, anyone who, after writing a witty little quip, puts an exclamation mark after it is a twat. You get a postcard, it says, nice weather, if you're a duck, exclamation mark. Might as well just say after it, love twat. And I hate people who tell you they've just done something wacky, and then, to prove just how wacky it was, say, as you do. I just put a bucket of bananas on my head, as you do. No. What you mean is, you behaved like a tosser, as you do. Now, these are all rational hatreds, all right? But sometimes I'm just filled with irrational hate, you know? I wake up in the morning and I think, oh, I hate people who make their own jam. Bastards. And they stretch a little bit of polythene over the top with an elastic band and a sticker on it that says, Damson, 1992. Oh, yeah. And I hate fat people who say, no, I'm not fat. I'm just bloated because of water retention. Oh, I see. Not bloated because of cake retention. Not bloated because of lard retention.
Actually, I had a very long conversation in the street the other day with no one at all.
No one at all?
Ghosts of half-remembered faces from my past life. But actually, though I say it myself, I did make rather a fine point. What I said was...
Well, I must remember that. Oh, bollocks! I don't want to bring the mood down at all, but I suppose you both know that old Clyde died.
No, I'd no idea. That's terrible. What was the cause of death?
It was these. I fancied them.
I am the poltergeist. I know what I'll do. This door here, I'll open it. Ah! Not too much, don't want to let a draft in. And then When they come back in, they'll be really fazed by that. One of them will say, but I thought I shut that door. And the other one will say, yes, you did, definitely. And it'll be like, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Yes, they'll be frightened and confused and...
You won't find a flatmate.
No problem for me.
Oh, they're completely oblivious as to the open and or shut status of the door.
No, you won't find a flatmate.
I will. It won't be a problem.
No, you won't, because you don't like people.
Of course I like people.
Who?
Well, no one specific, obviously, but just people. The concept of people, I like that.
Well, good luck to you. I'm looking for a new flat myself.
I do get on with people. No, I don't have a problem.
You do have a problem, because it's like, for example...
Yeah?
For example, someone I know, JJ, he's staying at a friend's floor. He's sound.
Yeah?
He's sound, no one has a problem with him, but I thought of, inviting him round to you and meet him, move in. I knew you wouldn't like him, didn't bother.
Look, I'm very easygoing. I'm sure he's a lovely fella. I'm sure I won't have any trouble with him. Why don't you just bring him round and we'll see. We'll see.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. Break his heart, get his hopes up.
No, you're wrong.
No, I'll do it. Proving a point. Proving a point, I'll do it.
Right, and I'll find a flatmate.
Yeah.
I mean, I admit I have had in the past the odd problem living with people. I lived in Edinburgh for a while with two blokes, one called Steve and one called Mitchell, who was American. And one day I said to Steve, do you know, I heard Mitchell talking to his girlfriend in America for an hour last night. And Steve said, oh, was he on the phone? I said, no, he was shouting. But that is an isolated example.
Dee, this is JJ.
Hey, it's great to be here. Ooh, hey. I'm a bit bloated at the moment with the water retention and that, Oh, yeah, hey, I'm going to really look forward to living here, eh? Great. Oh, yeah.
Hey?
What? No, I don't have a problem with him. No, he's great. Yeah, no, he can stay here as long as he likes.
Hey. Bit of a housewarming present. Hey, that reminds me of the time I was skating on this ice, right, dressed as a pantomime zebra, as you do. Me and me mate Andy, right, we were coming over the thing.
I do not look stupid. You do not look stupid. We do not look stupid. He does look stupid.
Julius's experience is not uncommon to the group. Still single at 30, he feels the loneliness of the outcast.
Yes, people will just think that someone like me doesn't have sexual urges, desires. After all, we live in a culture where one is not found attractive unless one looks like Matt Dillon or Daniel Day-Lewis or any film star.
Well, not any film star.
Well, no, not Groucho Marx. But I despaired of ever finding love or even someone who'd just hold it for a bit. I had a brief flingette, 2 brief flingettes with women of restricted seriousness, but they didn't work out for some reason. Then I met Helen. I still can't believe that any normal woman could be interested in me, so I'm just trying not to rush things.
Men come and write graffitis on wall, and no one seems to accept us. I write you to so many times.
Some of the members of the group find that their problems can interfere with their work. Simon works in Haringey at the local race relations office.
Stones and it's very angry.
There are no exact figures for people of restricted seriousness, but it is estimated that in the British Isles alone the condition may already have infected something like 12 people. These numbers may be even greater, as some remain in denial.
No, I think that's ridiculous. I don't see I've got anything in common with these people. In fact, I'm rather offended that you might think I did have.
So you won't mind if I play this trombone then?
No, not at all. Perhaps I've got a problem with my inner ear. Well, my name's John. And I've looked stupid for 37 years.
Good on you, mate. Good on you.
Very great job,
Over the course of the next few meetings, progress is clearly being made.
I mean, it all comes back to the fact that you've got to start feeling good about yourself.
Yeah, because since I met you, I feel a lot better about myself.
If you do that, then other people will start finding you attractive and see beyond the surface.
Yes, but it's hard to feel good about yourself when even some of us can't see beyond the surface.
Well, meeting adjourned, I think.
It may not be much, but for these lonely people, the weekly support group is the one haven of self-respect in their lives.
Helen! Wait!
This is one of the birds that a bevy of Greenpeace volunteers has been working on tirelessly for a week now to restore to its full health. The time has come, I feel now, to release this bird back into the wild. So it's gone back to its natural habitat and adopted its normal posture of lying face down, very still, so as not to be noticed by lions and giraffes.
Do you know, I can't get that piece quite right.
May I? Try like this.
That's all good. Yes. Do you notice it's absolutely chock full of dead man's saliva?
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jarvis. I'm hoping the weather is sunny this week so that I can get out and do a bit of the old... I haven't had a shag in ages. Actually, I don't approve of coarse language. I think when you say a rude word, it's as if your mouth was actually making physical contact with the thing itself. Oh, God. Buttocks. God, that's the last thing I want to happen. Breasts. Oh, dear. I used to follow Leeds United Football Club until they complained. About a year ago, one of their young players came on the market. Oh, God. That would be absolutely awful. Imagine that, all those hard-working market traders selling their honest pots and pans, struggling against the economic recession, and then suddenly all over their multicolored stripy awnings. Oh, God. Bosoms. Oh. I had a pang of guilt just then. I shall be looking forward to a tweak of conscience later on. I grow weary of idleness, and so have decided to take a job. I have decided to take a post for the Wimbledon Lawn Tennis Association. I shall be the man who stands for hours at a time directly behind the players, thus. Happy the man who is paid for his hobbies. Arse. Gosh. Well, that's the last thing I want to think about.
So there I was, skateboarding headlong towards the Dalai Lama, juggling 6 king-sized prunes, as you do. Wait. Hey, I've noticed you're not exactly at your best first thing in the morning, are you? Quince.
With scattered showers and a touch of thunder in the southeast wind.
Oh, did I tell you? A bit of good news. Bit of a bonus. I've got scurvy.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Actually, I disguised myself as the former lead singer of the Pogues the other day.
Did you do that?
Anyway, look, I'm so glad you could all come to this impromptu dinner party, and I think the food's ready now.
Under your arse. Lovely. Lovely.
Right. Who wants what?
Teotikohan atahoipa usmal Oaxaca okala aramalibi talaka atahualpakaka.
Good evening and welcome to History Today. I have been informed that we must, on tonight's programme, make every endeavour to stick with an academic discipline to tonight's topic, church and state. Professor Lewis.
Well, we must remember that for large parts of our country's history, church and state were effectively one. This spiritual bureaucracy is reflected in the severity of monastic orders at the time. Under the terms of his oath, a Benedictine monk, for example, could not only never have sexual relations with a woman, nor did he ever talk to a woman, nor even approach within 50 yards of a woman.
I am aware of the strictures.
And that's you on your 18 to 30 holiday.
Of course, Charles I was executed in a dispute essentially concerning church and state. Hansard records that following his guillotining, the body jerked around grotesquely for 20 seconds, writhing about in a pitiful display, his arms and legs shooting this way and that uncontrollably, as the gathered crowd laughed and spat.
Indeed.
And that's you dancing, that is. That's the way, aha, aha, I like it, aha, aha.
See an old chipped saucer lying against a brick wall in an alleyway.
Is it a green saucer from an institutional tea set?
Yes, and it's gone brown where some tea has stained the white bit.
I have seen such an item of discarded bric-a-brac.
That's your satellite dish, that's
The monarch who could be said to have truly united church and state was Elizabeth I. Her power was iconically linked with her refusal to marry, so that it became part of her mythology that she remained inviolate, known to all as the Virgin Queen.
Yes.
That's you, that is. That's your most manly nickname.
Essentially, throughout our history, there has been a constant power shift, moving from church to state, from state to church, thus, and then back again once more.
I am aware of the continual fluctuation.
And that's what everyone does when they stand downwind from your mouth. Oh, cool, blimey, cool.
In the present day, the balance seems to have shifted to state. But today's secular society is perhaps conditioned by an awareness of our temporal instability. Why, even this very land on which the battle between church and state was for so many years fought is continually being eroded by the sea. Our cliffs are moving back at a rate of 4 meters per year.
I am aware of the topographical crisis.
And that's how fast you run. That's you on sports day. Well, I don't think anyone can be in any doubt that tonight myself and Professor Lewis have had a most incisive debate. Professor Lewis, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So where's Raffles these days?
Oh, haven't you heard? He was murdered and robbed.
Murdered and robbed. How very interesting.
Yes, I've composed a brief poem in his memory.
Raffles!
It's very, very moving. Thank you.
Piece is about the last time I saw my granddad alive, but it starts after I've been on English asphalt for 10 seconds. This customs officer's in my face, a real pushy young tyke, and he starts what turned out to be a long grilling with that trick bouncers do as well sometimes, you know, of getting all confidential and conspiratorial with you, like, obviously you got some drugs though, haven't you? I mean, obviously, yeah, you got a few drugs though, haven't you? You know, you got some drugs, you got some, you know, like I'm going to go, yeah. Don't tell anyone. But it's got me vexed, this customs officer, because I've been driving for 24 hours. And when I left France, I was full of it, man. I was like, oh, wow, this is life as it should be lived. La vie comme elle se vit. The French are so warm, you can talk to strangers in cafes. 200 frog kilometres later, I was like, you French are all just bitter, because, like, you go on about, we are the masters of design. We designed the Pompadour Center. We designed the Citroën car. And then, like, you forget to design a toilet you can actually sit down on, and you have to like, pretend you didn't want to anyway. Oh, no. We thought of that already, but we prefer it this way. It is much more hygienic with the shit all over the back of the shoe. Yeah. But it's got me close to tears, this customs officer, and I was wondering why, and I think it's because it was night when I left, and 24 hours later, when I finally got home, it would still be night. And I've never really felt I belonged anywhere. And when you're abroad, you start believing in Britishness and all that. And I think what I'm saying is, what you want, what any of us really want from our customs officer as you return home to your native land is...
Looking good, my boy.
But no, this is my fault. Want to know, like, who I was with, what did I do, where did I go each day, who with and how many times. Unfortunately, whenever I'm confronted by any authority figure, I immediately become this 18th century nobleman bearing the king's seal. I was like, I am a law-abiding, tax-paying British citizen, and I find your questions impertinent, not to say a little rude. Search the car, for I will stomach no more of your insolence. No, looking back, I wasn't as dignified as all that. I'm a law-abiding, tax-paying British citizen, and I find your questions...
back, sir.
Impertinent, not to say a little rude. Search the car, for I will stomach no more of your insolence. I know, maybe it's just me, you know, I just lack a skin. I've just got a skin too few, because, like, as I drove up from Dover that day, I stopped off at a Little Eater or somewhere named like that, and I thought I was in heaven. This is brilliant. Little Eater welcomes you. You've done all this for me. I can't accept that. You're too kind. I don't deserve this. You're all... Oh, there's a little tureen here with a piccalilli, the mustard and the ketchup in it. Did you guys know about this? This is the best place ever. I love this man. Little Eda. Thank you. Thank you. But in there among the bolted down chairs, I felt I belonged. Got home, 9 a.m, tired but miles from sleep, and all I remember is this sudden compulsion to go and visit my granddad, who I hadn't seen since I was 13 years old, the only other Newman still alive. So I got back into the startled car, crossed town, and he came to the front door and I said, hello, you won't recognise me, but I'm your grandson, Robert. And he said, oh, how are you? Well, hello, you must come in, you must come in. Sometimes, if you're adopted, no matter how kind everyone is to you, how welcome they make you feel, still at the back of your mind lurks this doubt that you don't belong, not really. But in there, in that slow clock front room, I felt totally connected, linked to time past and time present, you know, the story of London, the greater story, the interconnection of people. At last, after 48 hours of travel, I finally felt I'd come home. And just then, and this is absolutely true, my granddad turned to me and he said, so, let me get this straight. Who are you exactly?
Now, there is no need for 40% of all diving accidents to happen. All it requires is an elementary check that there are no swimmers immediately below and no fellow divers on the lower boards. Now, there was no need for that to happen. It could have been avoided. It should have been avoided.
This should have paid for your dialysis machine.
Unfortunately, the presence of a broken outhouse meant that the writers were unable to resist the following joke.
Why is it that it's when your girlfriend's feeling a bit down, a bit under the weather, that that's when you most want to shag her. But suggest, you know, a bit of hanky-panky at this time, and it's like, you animal! How can you possibly suggest such a thing? I mean, I've just been run over!
That's typical, isn't it? I mean, you never want to do it when I want to do it. You said you wanted to do it outside, I remember.
I will never understand men.
You just don't try hard enough. Oh! I can't believe it. That's terrible of me. I mean, her mother's been hurt in this crash and everything. Of course she would want to have sex at a time like this. Not with any man.
And how did it get like this, that I only want sex when she doesn't want it? It used to be so different when we first started out. You know, we were such a typical couple. You know how it is. Like when couples first start going out with each other, they pretend that they both just don't go to the toilet. You know, they pretend they don't even know what a toilet is. Toilet, toilet, what is it? No, I'm too sexy for that. I'm on a dialysis machine. And the other thing couples pretend is that they never, ever fart. Fart? No, I never. No, not me. How'd you do it? But then there comes a time when you're sleeping with your partner and you just have to, right? You know, it's either a fart or appendicitis. So you do the only thing possible, which is to surreptitiously reach down below the duvet and pull your buttocks apart. But then there is the one time in 1,000 when this will actually amplify the noise and make it go a bit strange. Suddenly, it's coming out of your body. So you shut them quickly, it goes, you until eventually your partner turns round and says, is Rolf Harris in here? Oh my God, how's your mum?
She's dead. She died just before I got there.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's terrible.
I just can't believe it. I'm so upset.
If it's any help, I was reading an article yesterday which suggested that one cure for grief was strenuous physical exercise of some kind. Let me see, what is there?
She was there 1 minute, and now she's gone.
Why don't you just have a nice quiet lie down?
Okay.
Looked like it was going to take forever for you to go. I mean, forever. Of course, it didn't take that long.
Oh, God.
I have the privilege of...
Oh, God. That's it. I've lost her. Oh, God, I really need to talk to someone. A friend. Someone. Anyone. Ah.
David. I know what you're going through. I've been through this.
Have you?
I well remember the house of despair, thinking there was no way out, seeing the sky suddenly turn black. As you do.
Go away!
Gooseberry.
Get out!
Is everything all right with JJ, David?
Oh, yes, no, fine. Lovely jam, oh, yes. Oh, no. Yum, yum, yum. Oh. I'll tell you the worst thing about all this. It means I'm back to looking through my pants, deciding which ones to wear. Because I have a system with my pants, which is it. Basically, I have about 100 crap pants and about 5 good pants. And what I do is, I wear the good pants if I think I'm going to pull. It's a whole hierarchy. Basically, this is it. Definite shag, next silk boxers. Right? Possible shag, on briefs. Sad night out with the lads, greying potato sack. Of course, nothing will scupper my chances of pulling but wearing the good pants. And on those days on which I've got on the greying potato sack, oh yeah, suddenly I'm North London's biggest fanny magnet. But there is a solution to this, right? There's a way around it. That is, what you do is you carry around with you at all times a selection of pants, right? What you do is you go out wearing the crap pants, then you pull, of course, then you go into the toilet, the club or whatever, and you quickly slip on the good pants, right? And what happened to me last time I did this was that the woman that I was after, she saw me leaving the gents' toilet, stuffing into my pocket what was apparently another man's pants. And that was the end of that. So I'm not going back to partner searching hell. That's it, I'm going to phone her right now.
Hello?
Hi, look, I just want to come round and comfort you.
Well, actually, I don't need that. I've got a friend here now, and everything's fine. And do you know why? Because there's no sexual pressure. Because his world doesn't revolve around his dick. But you, David, you can't even imagine a relationship between a man and a woman where there's no sexual undercurrent and where there's just mutual respect.
There, my dear. You know that I'm always here to give you succor. Oh, God.
That JJ's a real laugh. As you do. Like that.
I do not look stupid. You do not look stupid. We do not look stupid.
Now, as you know, one of us cannot be here today. Daniel is still recovering after being beaten up in what was clearly a jokist attack. Now, I don't want to go into the details, but you should be aware that it was a very, very vicious attack indeed. Awful. And what made it worse was, when I got to casualty, they treated me like I was some kind of time waster.
What I wanted to say to you, and I didn't want to say this in front of everybody, but I think the time has come for us to take some kind of direct action. You know, show them they can't mess us around. Right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I can't deal with this just now. I let Helen down very badly.
Yes, she told me.
It was the shock of it, you know. I had no idea that she had breasts of restricted seriousness.
Well, I know how you feel. My wife has buttocks of restricted seriousness. She has a job at Pizza Hut making deep pan flan bases.
Jim! Oh, God, it's another attack.
He's gone, I'm afraid.
God bless you.
Let's do it. I came to realise that my problem with Helen was a kind of self-hate, I think, sort of low self-esteem. It was as if any woman who would want to go out with me
by definition, couldn't be worth much. It was as if, how would you put it? It was as if I wouldn't want to belong to any club that would have me as a member.
I did this gig in Norwich, and after the gig I was in the cafe and a man came up to me with a beard and he asked me very politely and a very dulcet voice, did I have a light? I said no, we went our different ways. And then a bit later, a couple of the lighting guys came in, they said, special casing today, and he's like the local nutter. And they pointed, and of course it's the same guy, only this time he's not, he's going, and because he'd been so compos mentis when he asked me for the light, I suddenly realised that when you see street crazies gnashing and wailing, they're not wrestling with the foul fiend that haunts them, just with self-consciousness, with social embarrassment. He knew he was about to shout something out, and he was just terribly embarrassed by this. Oh, God, I just know I'm going to shout something out soon. I just feel that's going to be so embarrassing. It's Perso! Sorry for myself to come back here. It's so humiliating. I mean, luckily it was monosyllabic. People might just think I was coughing, Hopefully I've got away with it. Slide! There goes that theory. Oh, dear. It's so rude. I can't believe I said that. I mean, it's humiliating. I mean, at least I haven't started barking. There goes that theory. I mean, dear, it takes the biscuit. Barking. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm sorry, I can't believe I did that. That was so rude. I really, you mustn't think that I'm the sort of person that does usually bark at people. Oh, God, and spitting as well. I've spat. Oh, God. I really must try now very hard not to attract attention to myself, and above all, I must not start to do inept kung fu shadow boxing. Dragon style as well. I must show the lads that I'm reliant on their good graces and I'm not being aggressive, really. If they give me the kicking I so richly deserve at this point, there isn't a court in the land that will convict them. Well, I thought the long slide special case was on down to the bin and out the other side, starting from the days when he still had even a girlfriend.
I'm just feeling really insecure at the moment. It's a very difficult time for me right now. I just need someone to reassure me and tell me I'm a worthwhile person.
I think I know the kind of thing you want me to say. Slow! Well, that wasn't it, was it? Forgive me, I can't believe I said that. I just can't believe I said it. I mean, I just want you to know that I am here for you. Oh! I can't believe I said that. That wasn't very supportive, was it? I mean, I know it wasn't. You absolute prostitute! I can't believe I said that. And I thought of how he'd lose his job and he'd have to get a menial job and then he'd lose even that. Oh, no. I must not throw my boss's hat out the window. I'll have to go down and get it. It's 4 flights down and I've got a heart condition. I can't believe I just did that. I mean, what did I just say? Oh. Hopefully now I've learned my lesson. I can't believe I just did that. Oh, what did I just say? Oh, God.
Listen up. Okay, on this job, no one refers to each other by their real name. You're Mr. Green. You're Mr. Red. You're Mr. Mauve. You're Mr. Wobbly Tickle. You're Mr. Gray.
Hey, Joe, why do I have to be Mr. Wobbly Tickle? Wobbly Tickle, it sounds silly. Why can't I be Mr. Black?
Let's go to work. Someone set us up! One of you guys here is not a regular guy. Someone's different. We're just gonna find out who it is.
Well, I reckon it was Mr. Mauve. He don't look right.
At least I'm a goddamn professional. At least when the bullets started flying, I didn't start going, wobbly-doo, wobbly-day. What is it with this wobbly-doo, wobbly-day crap anyway?
Hey, don't badmouth Mr. Wobbly Tickle, okay? Whenever I'm involved in any kind of minor mishap that has to be solved in a light-hearted manner involving the use of a wobble and/or tickle, e.g. some fruit being wobbled and/or tickled from a tree, I always knew I could rely on this guy. Like the song says, when you're in the dumps, here comes Mr. Bump. But when you're in a pickle, call Mr. Wobbly Tickle.
Oh, goddamn like!
Brother bought a coconut, he bought it for the dime. His sister had another one, she paid it for the line. She put the line in the coconut, she drank.
This should help pay for your dialysis machine.
Good evening and welcome to History Today. We continue this evening with the subject of the Enclosures Act and its effect on the English rural population. As it would appear, there are those who feel that last week, myself and Professor Lewis didn't quite make the inroads into the subject that perhaps we might. So I wonder, Professor Lewis, whether you would agree with the Marxist that the Enclosures Act forms the point at which government first effectively becomes state.
See that?
I have observed the image.
That's you in your latest clothes, that is. That's you trying your best to be really with it. That's what you wear when you're out on the pull.
See that?
I have observed the slide.
That's your gang, that is. That's you with your hard mates. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. See that?
Yes.
That's the man who works inside your pants.
See that?
I have observed it.
That's your most successful barbecue ever. That's like the biggest single gathering of all your friends in the whole world.
See that?
I have observed the woman.
That's someone who you've just told your funniest joke. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Tell it to me again, Professor Lewis. Do. See that?
Yes.
That's your prostate gland.
I haven't got a prostate gland.
Yes, that's why it's in that warehouse.
See that?
Do you mean the boyish figure in between the two girls?
Yes.
I have observed the Fauntleroyish figure.
You've lost a fight to him. He's staring you out right now. You can't look him in the eye. Go on, stare at him. You can't.
See that?
Yes.
That's you having your best ever snog.
Your bird never told you she was with me.
Well, I don't think anyone can be in any doubt that tonight myself and Professor Lewis have had the most rigorous of debates. Professor Lewis, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, they don't want me shouting and barking as much as I want here. I'm completely safe at last. I just mustn't up the ante.
Oh, what have I done? I had to push it. I can't believe I did that. Well, I can't blame them for their response. Lord knows the logistics of this place are difficult enough without being made 10 times worse by a violent resident.
I had this dream last night that my testicles were actually saying things to me. Stuff like, the country is coming out of recession. And Bad Boys Inc. are quite a good band. I said, you're talking bollocks. Which means that my genitals have just been simmering all night. So now, great, I can look forward to a whole day swollen and sodden with lust. OK, I'm in the bank. I'm doused in the cool, air-conditioned atmosphere. I can think straight now.
Do you want it in 5s or 10s?
I want it doggy fashion against the cash machine now! The thing to think about in this state is not Jimmy Hill or David Mellor. It's Channel 4 sex programmes. Because the one thing you learn from sex programmes is that experts on sex are, without fail, Quasimodos, right? There they are saying, well, of course, there's nothing more beautiful than loving, consenting sex between two adult partners. And you always expect them to add, apparently. I think I shouted that disgusting thing out now because I once saw Claire Rayner on a sex programme advising couples to do it doggy fashion. Doggy fashion? Surely you mean elephant fashion, Claire? My parents might have created the problem in the first place. I've always been hyper-aware of sex since I was a child. I think this is because I had a room next to my parents' bedroom, and my dad just used to make the most abominable noises during sex. For years, I thought there was a wounded walrus in my parents' bedroom.
Hi, and welcome to the Good Sex in the Head. We're so outrageous talking about it on the telly guide. And with me, as ever, is our resident sexpert, Dr. Lindsay Moore. Tonight, we're talking about orgasms. Dr. Lindsay.
Well, I always think the best thing to do is always make sure you're completely relaxed. And another thing, I always try and look especially sexy for my partner. I always wear split crotch panties, and I haven't even got a crotch.
Lou Reed, the poet of New York.
But she never lost her head, even when she was giving head. Hey, giving head, that's really rude. I know lots of other rude words too. Bra, pants, knickers, and I saw some prizes once. God, I'm streetwise. Do-do, do, do-do, do-do, do-do. Hey, that's a rude word too. Doo-doo.
Rock stars always try and make out they're the people most drenched in sexuality, like Prince. Although I think Prince went a bit far with sexy motherfucker. And then he tried to get away with it by calling it sexy MF. Like people are going to say, of course, he means sexy Michael Fish, doesn't he? And so many rock stars try really hard to suggest that they are in some way sexually ambivalent. But one of them is just trying too hard. Brett Anderson from Suede just so desperately wants you to think that he's gay. Whoops! Tucky! Shut that door! It'll ride up with where? What else do they say here? Chase me! I'm free! What a gay day! Welcome to Going Live!
Well, hello. We're becoming quite familiar, aren't we? You and old Jarvisy Warvisy. I have to tell you, the other day I had a 5-hour wait at Victoria coach station. Eventually I became so bored I decided to just get on a coach. Check out the action at Lime Street, I thought. It has become my unshakable conviction that most lesbians think I'm Chinese. I'm sure they do. I'm sure most lesbians think I am Chinese. For example, I'm sitting on the tube, say, and there are a couple of lesbian women sitting opposite me, and I find myself trying to imagine them performing their sapphic rites. Oh, God. Later I may cruise the homeless of Soho once again. Well, hello. And what brought you down onto the street? The likes of me, you say? Oh, come, come, that's something of a generalization. Don't worry, studio audience. Edgy silences are meat and drink to me. You're merely reminding me of some of my greatest moments. In the morning, after particularly late nights, as I wend my way home through the now daylight streets of Soho, some ordinary, common people are already on the streets. And sometimes I like to amuse myself by watching them. The other day, for example, I noticed a troop of sixth form Boy Scouts had got themselves lost in Soho. Oh, God. That must be terrible. I availed myself of a nearby awning and watched their predicament for a few moments until one of their number said, "Why don't we ask directions of that Chinese gentleman over there?" I grow weary of you now.
Robert, I haven't told you this so far, but I'm planning to do a piece at the end of tonight's show. It's going to be a bit of a departure.
Hey, you mean a new type of dick joke?
No, it's about when someone I was very close to died.
Oh.
You know, Robert, sometimes life isn't comedy, sometimes it isn't even tragedy-comedy. It's simply tragedy. Yes, there's laughs. Ha 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 ha.
Ho 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 ho.
Yeah.
Hee hee.
Yeah, but where do we go after that? Nowhere. I've been to the end of the pier and now, hey, I'm diving in. So I'm planning to get in a really good director, shoot it on 35mm, should look really classy. And I've asked for the rights to use a particular Eurythmics song on the soundtrack. The point is, all this could cost a bit. So from now on, is it okay if we go easy on the budget? Robert, I mean, it really means a lot to me.
No, hey, you know, of course, definitely. When are you doing this piece?
It's just after the bit you do that begins another night in on my own.
Right.
Another night in on my own, okay? And then I shall be doing the end piece of the entire series. I shall be walking over the hot coals of truth without my clown shoes.
To try and catch a rare glimpse of the nocturnal habits of our wily friend, the urban fox, we've had to put in selfless and painstaking hours of waiting and watching, even though there's never been any foxes in a 20-mile radius of this area ever. As a
there she is. She's there.
Controlled experiment to see whether a fox would appear sooner or later. The BBC may want to know where the £500,000 we've spent in 3 months filming here has gone. But it's all worth it for that magical moment when, framed in the moonlight... Oh, what's that doing there? What is it? What the f*** is that doing there? Get the dog out of it! Throw a rock at it or something. What the... Oh, she's gone now. Right!
3 months' work. Down the bloody drain. 3 months of my life wasted.
Came home and there was an answer phone message from Rachel waiting for me. And I never more wished that I had total consciousness, you know, a complete God's eye, holistic view of the world. I mean, I'm trying to work out whether me and her are right for each other. Because, like, there's a lilting tone to her voice on the answer phone. I'm thinking, you know, is that affection? Is it wariness? Or is it just a yodeling great-grandmother? So I just keep trying to replay and play the message again and again, hoping that eventually I'll have some flash of insight by some grace of God and I'll know whether or not me and Rachel are right for each other.
Hello, Rob. This is Rachel. I'm just returning your call.
What do you think? Cool. Calling you to my bed. Cool. I can't wait till my life gets legit, you know, because gets, you know, regular. Because a picaresque life is full of humiliations, you know, like that time that, you know, you think you're in there and you don't have any Johnnies and everywhere's shut and all the machines are empty and you wait until dawn, but it's a featherlight freeze bank holiday. Oh, God, there's nothing more humiliating than having to go around someone's house to scrounge a Johnny. Oh, God, I'm going to have to do it.
I don't know why the young people today complain about using condoms against HIV.
I wonder if I could borrow Geronimo.
This was the design to be used again and again, or in my case, once in 1936.
Yeah, sure it was, yeah. Thank you. Oh, God, that was horrible. But it wasn't going to stop me. No way. Oh, no, I'm going to have to put my dick where Ted Brewster's dick has been. Oh, that's horrible, that's disgusting. I've got to put Geronimo on as well. Oh, no, it's split. I don't believe it, it's split. Oh, God, what if she's pregnant? Abortions aren't cut and dried. A friend of mine, she had an abortion and she said it was so clumsily performed and not only was it incredibly painful at the time, but it now means that she can never have children again. I mean, man, what do you say when someone tells you that? You know, anything philosophical would be glib. So I just said, God, I'm sorry to hear that, but you got to understand I hadn't done that many then.
I didn't have all the right tools. Some of the tools were a bit rusty. In retrospect, I wouldn't have used the front forks of the bicycle again. And Ted's going to be really pissed that I've broken it. I don't know why, like he was ever going to use it again. Oh, hello. Is Mr. Brewster not in?
No, I'm sorry, but he sadly passed away.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. What, old age, stroke, heart attack?
No, AIDS.
Ladies and gentlemen, as this is the last show in the present series, would you please welcome our very special guest star, the Queen of Rock and Roll, Miss Suzi Quatro, yeah!
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show. Did you get a copy of the song?
Yeah, I did. It was Then He Kissed Me, but it's kind of an odd choice, isn't it?
Oh, really? Well, anyway, the idea is that we sing this song, and then at the end of the song, because it's a song about kissing, we do this little kiss at the end. I mean, it's really the director's idea, not mine. Is that okay?
Yeah, I guess so. Now listen, the kiss, it's because of the song, right?
Yeah, I go sort of, we go, and then he kissed me, and then we go into this long clinch, and this is the embarrassing thing. I think they want us to sort of hold the kiss for quite a bit so that they can do a soft dissolve thing on the shot.
Are you up to it? Cue the music. Well, he walked up to me and he asked me if I wanted to dance. And he looked kind of nice, so I thought I might take a chance. When he danced, he held me tight. And when he walked me home that night, all the stars were shining bright. And then he kissed me.
Is this all right now? Miss Quattro, you'll be able to kiss me now. Is this all right?
Yeah. Listen, I was just checking these lyrics. You changed a line here. It says, and then he kissed me on the tits.
Yeah.
Fine.
Excuse me one moment, Miss Suzi Quattro. Yes!
Each time I saw her, I couldn't wait to see her again. I wanted to let her know that she was more than a friend.
Excuse me. How much did she cost?
I don't know offhand.
My personal filmed piece at the end of the show. Well, I'm terribly sorry about this, Miss Quattro, but you'll have to go. I'm sorry about this, because I'm hoping to do this personal piece at the end of the show.
I see, and that would be a sort of fitting high point on which to end the series, having, as it were, mimetically stretched the form of the sketch show.
Well, entirely, you see, and you just appreciate this.
Didn't know just what to do. I whispered I love you. He said that he loved me too.
I know this sounds stupid, but I've become convinced that Emma is having an affair with Rob. I know you think I'm wrong, but I've accused her, and she denies it as if I'm definitely wrong, but...
bone marrow, demonstrating lesbian sex in a Martian spaceship!
As you do.
Oh, I love it when you say that. Spread some jam on me. Homemade damson.
Excuse me, Mr. Newman. I did have a word with Mr. Bloodybub about having more speaking parts and not being the stunt double, but nothing seems to have happened. I am a character actor of some standing. Well, certainly in the Weston-super-Mare area.
I understand, and, you know, we appreciate that you're only doing it for your daughter, but there's the money.
But her dialysis machine is very expensive to run. I don't understand why, because for £100,000 plus interest to the loan sharks, well, I expected her to come home with a room full of machinery. But it's marvellous. It's quite a small machine, battery-powered. Only makes a slight buzzing noise. And here's the queer thing, Mr. Newman. It looks like nothing so much as a plastic penis.
What, you mean a bit like a vibrator?
Yes. Only this is a dialysis machine and...
Anyway, I've got to go now because I'm just playing myself as an older man on occasion of my Ruby wedding anniversary.
But Mr. Newman, I can play you. I played you in that scene where you were run over by a hovercraft.
Okay, hold on a sec. Is that all right if Albert does me in the next scene?
Yeah.
Okay. You can do the next scene. Okay.
Thank you. I won't let you down. Well, this will help pay for you a...
Isn't this lovely, darling?
And to think, darling, I almost didn't go into that bar. And we would never have met. And now we've been together for 40 years. And do you know how happy... Oh, God.
Now, there is no need for 40% of all Ruby wedding anniversary accidents to happen. Now, there was no need for that to happen.
I am the poltergeist, and the great thing about me is that no one knows I'm here, and so I can wreak my dark work in secret, leaving the mortals to puzzle as to how and why and where.
I'm off on tour. Can you feed the cat, please?
I'm not doing that. I'm a poltergeist. I have lifted coffins out of the earth, dwelt in thrilling regions of ribbed ice, hurled my soul in fractured atoms against the wind, fought fiery jaws against the angel Gabriel. Here, pussy. What did your last slave die of? That's what I say.
As an epilogue to this story, Julius underwent an experimental operation which doctors felt might normalise his features. A blood transfusion with a very serious person. Maybe because deep down in Julius's core of being there is something fundamentally and unalterably stupid, Julius had an allergic reaction.
I do not look stupid. I do not look stupid.
Helen, meanwhile, has found love with a normal builder and was recently voted Pin-Up of the Year by the magazine Readers' Wives. But Julius, shunned by the restricted seriousness support group for selling out, spends his days alone in his flat, despairing of ever finding a girlfriend, and thinking back over the few moments of passion and tenderness he enjoyed with Helen.
Good evening and welcome to History Today. Tonight we will be endeavouring to establish a cogent idea of British civic life, our institutions and so forth, from pre-Roman times to our own. Professor Lewis, I wonder if you would agree with radical Celtic historians that the notion of a centralised bureaucracy is essentially alien to the British character.
Indeed, although the essential flux which informs as nebulous a term as character means that this theory topples over like a fallen tree. And that's what you did when you had your BCG.
I don't care about anything you say today, because tomorrow I'm going to Marine World in Brighton.
Yeah, in a special bus. And you can't even go to the toilet on your own. And the driver's on, like, strict instructions not to go over 3 miles per hour in case you get scared.
Even if that were the case, which it is not, it still remains the fact that it is I who am going to Brighton Marine World and not you. So, if we may return to the discussion in hand, I wonder if I might inquire, Professor Lewis, whether, all things considered, you have been to Brighton Marine World. British civic development changes course radically with the Great Fire of London, after which there was the opportunity to restructure and recodify the way records were kept. So that as tiny a spark in as lowly a place as Pudding Bowl Lane...
That's where you have your haircut.
It is not until the 19th century...
And you eat your dinner in snot and bogey pie, haven't you?
You need special medicine to live. And I'm the one going to Brighton Marine World. It is, of course, possible to achieve an exact dating for such artefacts. This coin, for example, is quite clearly inscribed with the letters CLMXII.
I have observed the inscription.
Which is your best ever spelling of climax.
See a whelk stall outside a South London pub?
Oh, yes, yes.
And it's got to be about 5 o'clock on a hot Saturday afternoon. And all that's left on the display tray are a few sorry-looking jellied eels, 1 whelk, and a couple of dried-up, shriveled prawns.
I have observed such a roadside establishment.
That's Brighton Marine World.
Another night in on my own. I'll just play that answer phone message from Rachel again.
Hello, Rob, this is Rachel. I'm just returning your call.
Because now you see there's hope.
No f***ing way.
Oh, it's got a bit tense there. I'll just do some painting to calm down. And so, faced with all this futility, I decided to go to Acapulco.
So, as I was saying, another night in on my own, and, yeah, it occurred to me that there is a world elsewhere. Yeah, the hidden aquamarine landscape. Shit, anyway, so this bloke goes into a pub and orders a cheese and pickle sandwich.
Here I am in cyberspace, everybody.
I remember the last time I saw my first love's face. Even though it was over a decade ago, it still haunts me. There in the hospital grounds, her face. An infinitely gentle, infinitely suffering thing. I remember I walked back towards her. People say I'm a cynic and a sneerer, but if they only knew how tender, delicate and poetic this moment was. Oh, David! I know I'm not going to survive this operation! And I know you know that too! Yes, I feel like the world has stopped. Oh, God, don't leave me. Just then, like a hint of the vast, sweeping forces of the eternal scheme of wise nature, it began softly to rain.
Slide guitar. I've ripped my lips up.